Chazak uvahu. Mincha is going to be 8:10. Please be on time. The halacha tells us that, as we mentioned yesterday, this halacha, that if a person is having meat and next to him is someone that has fish, so according to the deen, he doesn't need to make a separation or some sort of recognition. And the reason is because hamira sakanatami isura, that a prohibition is something you might end up forgetting on a very short notice. You might forget. But sakanata, which is a danger, you won't forget. And since it's dangerous to have fish and meat together, so therefore we're not concerned that you're going to take from the fish to the meat, and you don't need to make recognition. Now, this halacha that I said yesterday is actually from the Yalkut Yosef. It's sourced in the Yalkut Yosef. Although one can analyze a little bit this halacha and critique it, because this was very true in the Gemara's time. In the Gemara's time, the danger was palatable, and when a person would have fish and meat together, it very much harmed the person, and therefore there was no concern. But today, in the world, most people don't understand. You have to explain to them, what are you talking about? They don't get what you're saying. What do you mean a danger? There's a danger in having fish and meat together. Most people don't sense any danger in it. As a matter of fact, even in halacha, there's a disagreement. There's some opinions that say, no, this is something that changed over time, and the danger no longer applies in the same capacity. Although we don't accept that halacha, we do say it's still something you're not allowed to do. But what comes out is that to be lenient, you shouldn't rely on that. Meaning to say, the whole argument why you don't need to make a recognition is because it's more severe in the eyes of people. But it's not really today more severe in the eyes of people. People don't view eating fish and meat as something that's dangerous and something to stay away. So it should come back that, wait, maybe there really is a concern that a person who's having meat is going to take from the person that has fish, and he should need a recognition in our times, because it's not chamur in people's eyes, it's not strict in people's eyes. So there is an argument to disagree with what the Yalkut Yosef is saying. Therefore, it does seem to be that either a person should make a recognition, even between fish and meat, or possibly you could argue what the Yalkut Yosef argues in another place, where if you actually are noten da'atcha, which means you put your intent very clearly from the beginning, that I am not going to go ahead and have from the fish that's from the other person, I'm just going to stay with my meat, and you make that very, very clear from the beginning, that sort of sets the tone. So then we can rely on the fact that it wasn't required in the Gemara's time. So even though today technically the reasoning that underlies it doesn't apply, but since you yourself imposed that you weren't going to have it during that meal, so therefore you could be lenient like the position of the Yalkut Yosef. But otherwise, if you didn't self-impose it, it does sound like there is room to require a recognition between fish and meat in our times where it's not as severe in the eyes of people. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen.